Welcome to the Uplift. We have a great show for you today and a great cast of characters. A teacher who found a flaw in the design of his classroom that was making a negative impact on his students, and the stranger who helped him fix what was wrong. A woman on a journey across the U.S. hoping to make history with a massive hike. Plus, actor Daniel Kaluuya. You might know him from films like Nope or Black Panther, but he's been preparing for another role since he was just 9 years old. This one behind the camera. And David Begnaud takes us to a mystery location and uncovers a story about a man who uses wooden nickels to help others. Hi, I'm Nancy Chin, and this is the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes. We begin with a teacher who found a flaw with his fifth grade classroom and the man who helped him fix it. Here's Caitlin O'Kane.
If you look around the classrooms at Taft Elementary in California, you might notice some of them have one flaw in common. They don't have any windows. That's true for Logan Ernest's fifth grade classroom.
Most of the day, 7/8 of the day, they're inside. And, they don't really get to see any trees. They don't get to see grass, the blue sky. We have these wonderful beige walls, and, it can be a little draining on them, I think.
Former school psychologist Ernesto Rodriguez says the lack of windows is to blame because research shows being in and around nature eases anxiety and has benefits for students.
There's 40 plus years of science that shows kids benefit by this emotionally, creatively, and academically.
Rodriguez is no longer a psychologist, but perhaps he knows now more than ever the impact nature has on mental health because he became a park ranger on Southern California's Catalina Island, and he began focusing on his passion, landscape photography. He was out in the woods when he had his aha moment. He was going to bring nature into classrooms.
Having been a school psychologist, you don't touch a teacher's walls. You do that and they cut your hand off, both of them. So I thought, well, let's use the ceiling because they don't typically use the ceiling, and started developing a catalog of images of trees. So when you walk into the classroom, it feels like you're sitting under a tree, and it has all those elements of the science that helps calms you down, helps you focus and communicate.
He calls it nature in the classroom. He uses his photography skills to take 360 shots of tree canopies. Then he blows them up and installs them on classroom ceilings. He's worked with 10 school districts so far. We were there when he revealed the canopy to Mr. Ernest's fifth grade students.
Beautiful. It is surprising to see because anytime you're inside of a school, you mostly don't see plants or trees. But not surprising to see that there's trees here. I would say that's pretty gray and beautiful.
I think the effects are going to be more than just one thing. I think I think my attendance is going to go up. I think kids are going to want to come in here more frequently. I think overall, I think the kids are going to be happier.
And if you still don't believe in the science behind the art, Rodriguez says you can go outside and try it yourself.
This is a marriage of both my career as a school psychologist and a photographer, and to be able to create imagery and spend time out in nature, creating imagery that I know is going to help people is really a motivator.
Coming up, did you know actor Daniel Kaluuya wrote his first play at age 9? Well, he recently put that writing talent to work in the kitchen and spoke to Anthony Mason about working behind the camera. Actor Daniel Kaluuya is known for films like Nope and Black Panther, but he recently stepped behind the camera and took on a whole new role. Here's Anthony Mason.
Did you find directing more difficult than you thought it would be?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how present you have to be and how many decisions you have to make consistently.
The film The Kitchen marks Daniel Kaluuya's debut as a director.
Going through that for the first time must be a lot.
It's a lot.
But what a lesson,
No, it's humbling.
Kaluuya also co-wrote the screenplay. Set in a dystopian future London,
So where do you live?
Kitchen.
the film follows a community that refuses to abandon its home, called the kitchen, to the police state.
What was the biggest obstacle for you in terms of writing?
Confidence. It's like you have this fear of being rubbish.
Yeah.
The realization is that you have to be rubbish. Like, it's literally part of the process. You're gonna get the first draft, it's gonna be rubbish,
Yeah.
and you just keep going. The pivot was, I'm not trying to be good or great, I'm trying to be honest.
This is your neighborhood.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Kaluuya was raised by his Ugandan-born mother in London's Camden Town.
What's going on, you all right? Yeah, I'm good, bro.
You kind of acted up in school, was that?
Yeah, I acted up. That's why I did acting. The teacher told my mum, he's like, he acts up, he should act. You know, when my mum listened.
That's funny. You did improv as a kid,
Yeah, improvisation.
but you kept it secret.
I didn't tell anyone.
Why?
Because it was my thing.
Were you good at it, do you think?
At the beginning, no. No, no, I wasn't.
I've probably been looking at the same damn cloud every day for the last 6 months.
What I realized, acting is an interpretive art, and writing and improv is a creative art.
Yeah.
So then I was writing on the spot. You know what I'm saying? So with improv, you're writing on the spot.
Kaluuya had written his first play at age 9.
Then I wrote this play and I won a competition. It got performed at Hampstead Theatre. So it was a massive moment.
At 19, he wrote 2 episodes for the hit British TV series Skins, which he also starred in.
Yeah, what? We're 1-1. Right, you get me?
And 2 years later, acclaimed playwright Roy Williams cast Kaluuya in his boxing drama Sucker Punch in London.
I can't be touched. I won't be touched.
Which is kind of what opened everything up for you, really?
It did. It was my first lead role.
Simon.
He then started landing film roles in Johnny English Reborn,
Are you sure that's the Ascender, sir?
Yes, I know it anyway.
Agent in distress. Agent in distress.
and Sicario.
Talk to me, what are we doing?
I don't have any answers for you.
Well, let's get some.
But Kaluuya quickly became disillusioned with the film industry.
What was that all about?
Racism. It's not even race. It is racism, but it's also just like people having power that don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's like they are governing the moves and what's happening, but it's not like the work is true or honest or pushing boundaries. And I just was like, why am I being led by people that don't inspire me? So then I said, all right, cool, I'm going to leave.
And that's when you auditioned for Jordan Peele, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long have you known that guy?
The director cast him in his psychological thriller, Get Out.
Man, this is gonna sound weird, but when he came at me, it felt like I knew him.
He earned rave reviews and his first Oscar nomination.
Kind of changed things.
Changed my whole life, yeah. It did change my whole life. But it was like, yeah, it changed my whole life. It's still happening.
Is that a good thing or bad thing?
It gets better with time.
Does it?
Yeah. I think I wasn't prepared. I don't think I chose it. I think I chose to make great work. I didn't really comprehend the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
In terms of my visibility and how people might be interested in my life.
It led to roles in Black Panther, Queen and Slim,
What if they kill us? Don't say that. There's no guarantee they won't.
and Judas and the Black Messiah.
You can murder revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.
His intense performance as Black Panther Party leader Fred Hampton won him every major award, including the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. That win, Kaluuya says, is one of the reasons he got the green light to direct The Kitchen.
So has this changed your feelings about acting in the sense of how much you want to do and how much directing you want to do?
Yeah, I definitely want to do directing. All roads have been leading to this.
They have.
I've been in denial, essentially. I want to make soul movies.
What's a soul movie?
something that moves you.
Something that moves you, he says, like an infectious song.
Does it make you dance? Do you feel it? Because you can't articulate why a song makes you dance. You just move.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I want. In film, I want that. And that's what I want creatively. I believe I can do anything. And so I just want to exercise that, and then I will die.
Yeah.
Coming up, meet a hiker hoping to make history as she embarks on a cross-country journey. Plus, a photographer who has captured the same subject nearly every day for the last 4 years. But no two photos are the same. We now introduce you to a photographer who has taken 100,000 photos of the same subject. And there's nothing repetitive about those images. Here's CBS San Francisco's Itai Hod.
Step on to the Golden Gate Bridge on any given day, and you might just become the focus of Jake Ricker's 6-year-long obsession.
November 2017, I came out here one day, just by myself, just photographing, and then I never really left.
A street photographer, he's been here every day, capturing life along this iconic landmark.
Some days it's like a really, really sad day, and some days it's a really, really exciting and positive experience, and I think that's what makes it so amazing.
In the last 4 years, he says he's missed only 20 days, snapping an estimated 100,000 photos.
Are there ever days where you don't want to be here?
Yeah, I mean, all the time. I wish I could sleep in. I wish I could not be in cold, fog, and rain.
He's here up to 10 hours a day. But unlike most people, his eye is not on the bridge itself, but on what's happening on it.
You have 1 second to get it right. You can never duplicate that situation again. And when you get something out of that, I think it's way more magical than anything that can be captured in a studio.
Over the years, he's witnessed everything from car crashes to protests to weddings, and something else this span has sadly become famous for.
There's been days where I've literally stopped or played a role in stopping 3 or 4 people from jumping in one day.
Financially speaking, however, he's barely surviving, relying on savings and credit cards to fund his project. So far, he hasn't been able to monetize it. In the meantime, Jake says he's not going anywhere.
If all my financial problems were solved, this is still what I would be doing.
And while he has no idea whether his project will get the exposure it deserves, he'll cross that bridge when he comes to it.
The American Discovery Trail is a massive hiking route that connects one side of the country to the other. CBS Sacramento's Marley Ginter caught up with a hiker on the trail, hoping to make history on the trek.
This is my sleeping pad.
Brianna DeSanctis carries everything she needs to sleep, to eat.
Put this on here and fill it up with some water.
All tucked away on her back as she hikes across the entire country.
I've hiked around 6,600 miles to get here.
Brianna set out from Delaware, determined to be the first woman to complete the American Discovery Trail, a massive coast-to-coast hiking and biking route. The trail is generally split into 4 regions connecting California all the way to Washington, D.C.
I've experienced some of the most amazing people, the nicest families, people that don't know me from a hole in the ground, inviting me into their house for dinner.
From people to all sorts of wildlife, she's come across mountain lions, bears, prairie dogs.
I've had one-on-one conversations with lots of livestock out here.
And challenging weather from one extreme to the next.
One day I was hiking and it went from 22 to about 2 degrees in probably 40 minutes. On the other end of things, I was in southern Illinois and the temperature was over 100 degrees for about a week.
A hiker determined to go the distance.
I think we're not being pushed enough, and I definitely pushed myself on this one.
Pushing herself in hopes to strengthen others.
One of my biggest reasons for hiking this trail is to inspire others and to empower women. I think nowadays people don't really get outside enough.
Coming up, David Begnaud is on another mission to find a story in a mystery city. This one nestled in the mountains. Any guesses? David Begnaud had a plane ticket to a surprise location and a mission to find a story. So where did he go and what did he find? A man helping others with wooden nickels.
Hey, where are we going? Where are we going? Tell me. Asheville, North Carolina. I have never been. Thank you. Let's go. This is going to be fun.
It was a quick 56-minute flight from Atlanta to Asheville where the adventure began. This time in a city nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains, best known for its vibrant art scene, diverse food, and 50-plus breweries.
Are you here to do a story?
Yeah.
Where are you going to do it?
I don't know. I have 48 hours to find it.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's
yes.
one of those.
To kick off the journey, we started at Asheville's most visited site, Biltmore Estate. There, my team surprised me with someone who knows the place pretty well.
Welcome to Biltmore. I'm Chase Pickering.
Hi, Chase. Pleasure to meet you.
So glad to have you here today.
This is quite a sight.
Biltmore House was built by my great-great-grandfather in 1895. George Vanderbilt was his name. It's the largest privately owned home in America.
I could get accustomed to this.
Let's take a closer look.
Chase took me on a private tour and shared what it was like growing up as a descendant of the family who built New York's famous Grand Central Terminal.
I mean, the majesty of this, kind of gives me the chills.
Isn't it spectacular?
Wow.
From here, it was time for breakfast. So we headed to a place called Biscuit Head, and I tried the filthy animal.
So there's egg, pimento cheese, a biscuit, and bacon. I mean, what else do you say? One more bite, and I'm done.
From here, we headed for Asheville's River Arts District, which has a vintage vinyl shop.
Oh, I love this.
And some individual art studios.
This is really strikingly beautiful.
Thank you.
We decided to pop into Asheville's Visitor Center nearby.
Any ideas on things we should see? Or people we should meet, actually, more important.
People you should meet.
Yeah.
They told me to check out the Tasty Diner and go meet the owner, Stephen Goff.
Are you Mr. Goff?
Yeah.
I'm David with CBS News.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. We were told to come and check this place out.
Poor guy, he looked pretty confused. So I sat down and I told him this.
I'm looking for just fascinating people.
Cool.
And stories that make you mad, sad, or glad. Any of the three work.
I'm pretty sure I have all of that.
Over a delicious Philly cheesesteak, he started to tell me about his past. And I knew real quickly we had found our story.
You know, I was born in Northern California, and my family moved to South Carolina. My first year of high school, I dropped out and started hopping freight trains, and hopped all around the country.
How did you like that lifestyle?
It was pretty cool. I mean, you know,
What made it cool?
There's a lot of things, you know, for like a young person that was like just stuck in a super conservative southern city. It was like the most liberating freedom ever.
So life on the run as a teen was more freeing and fun than life at home?
You know, it was the early 90s, so like, you know, if you looked funny, you were gay. So lots of people would harass me for that. I'm not gay, and I also have nothing against anyone with any sexual preference, but them thinking I was gay caused large problems for me in the South in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I grew up gay in the South. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I got it.
So it was an issue, you know, and it was like, I would rather live on the streets than put up with this.
Now you're starting to speak my language, but I also see your eyes start to water.
Oh, yeah, yeah. When I was younger, I was just like, that was awesome and fun. But as an adult, you're like, oh, you were running away from pain. You know?
And that's it. That's it. You were running from pain.
You know, at the same time, like, the life that gave me and what that instilled in my spirit as a human being made me a better person as a whole.
He found his purpose in the first place that really felt like home, the kitchen. Stephen worked his way up the ranks using a skill born out of pain, compassion.
You know what I thought when I walked into this restaurant? A place where anybody feels welcome.
That's exactly what I want you to feel.
That's what I thought.
I want it to feel like our city here, like Asheville. I want it to feel like you're walking into my head and you're getting a little piece of my history and personality just from the walls and the decor.
Stephen had an idea, the wooden nickel program. Here, a customer can spend an extra $5 to buy one of these wooden nickels. When people who are hungry come by asking for free food, Stephen feeds them, and a wooden nickel gets used. As our time in Asheville with Stephen was coming to an end, I started thinking that life itself is just one wild train ride. As long as you can hang on, you might end up being dropped off exactly where you're meant to be.
Isn't it crazy how you go from a boy jumping trains trying to find himself to sitting down on CBS News and telling your story?
It's pretty cool. It is insane, in fact. I never thought I would be anything, so so it's pretty cool to be able to like take care of our community and have somebody just coming through town and recognize that.
Well, the community is what drove us to you. And I think it's because of how well you've taken care of them.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's our show. I hope this news brightened your day and lifted you up.